Hey everybody, welcome back to the Maine Morgue. As always, I am your host, Jamie Santamore. I want to take a second and say that I greatly appreciate you guys for watching my videos. It really does mean a lot to me that I get views each week. I haven't had many for the last couple of shows, but I'm trying to pick up the pace a little bit. I'm going to start doing different things. Instead of just always doing horror pack indie movie reviews, I'm going to alternate between horror pack indie movie reviews and reviewing mainstream horror movies. I just uploaded my review for Rob Zombie's Halloween, which is on YouTube, and will be on wickedcarnivalproductions.com tomorrow, because I haven't been able to get over there and put it on there. Yep, I'm back this week to talk about all things DC. I'm going to talk a little bit about Marvel, but this is pretty much a DC show. You know what, I'm going to just get Marvel out of the way right off the top of the bat. I still don't understand Legion. Okay, and I won't comment on it too much, but I'm going to rewatch episodes 1 through 3, like really focus on it. I'm not going to have any other distractions. And I'm hoping I can grasp the concept of this show. It's all over the place. It's not really centered in one place, which is very confusing to me. If somebody can explain it to me, that would be great. I understand that this kid's a mutant and doesn't know how to control his powers, and the people around him are trying to get him to control his powers. I get that part of it. Is there more to it than that? Am I missing something? That's all I want to know. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. went off this week with... I don't know what the next part of the season's going to be. They're coming back, I guess, in April after a hiatus. I'm probably going to go back and rewatch the last couple of episodes because I feel like I missed something. I know the whole team other than other than Gemma, I think it is, and Daisy. I'm pretty sure they're all robots at this point, right? Or androids, or whatever you want to call them. But I think I missed something during this week's episode where they're going after the hiatus. So I will hopefully get that under control before next week. I want to talk about some news items and an update on my dealings with DC Entertainment and Marvel in terms of... and Disney in terms of Star Wars. I recently reached out to DC Entertainment to seek license to use stills, clips, and videos of the Arrowverse shows, which, believe it or not, is a long process. You have to email them, then they tell you who to email, then you wait for a response. Sadly, I was unable to obtain a license from DC Entertainment to use stills, clips, and videos, which kind of really pisses me off because you see everybody out here doing Arrowverse videos and Marvel videos and DC videos, and you can't tell me every single one of you motherfuckers has a license to do so using their clips, stills, and videos. And I understand fair use and all that horse shit that YouTube tries to protect everybody from and copyright infringement and all that, but you can't tell me every one of you motherfuckers has a license to use their stuff. So you're probably feeling you're protected under fair use, and you probably are, and that's all the power to you. I sought permission, was denied permission, so therefore I will just sit here and continue to talk about the Arrowverse, about Marvel TV shows, about Gotham, and leave it at that. If you're looking for more visual aids, I can't help you because I will not go against DC Entertainment or Marvel Studios because I don't have license to do so. I like to do business the right way, and I explained that to the nice woman who emailed me from DC Entertainment. I said to her in the email that I'm asking permission before I use the stuff because I like to do business the right way. Speaking of doing business the right way, at least they had the decency to email me back and say, well, we can't allow you to use our stills videos and clips and make money, which my YouTube channel is not monetized. I don't make money on these videos. I make these videos because I do it for fun. They're fun to make. They're a lot of work, but they're fun because I like talking to you guys. Unlike Marvel, who didn't have the decency, and Disney, who didn't have the decency, to email me back and say yes or no. As many people out there making Marvel videos, DC videos, and Star Wars videos, again, you can't tell me every single one of you motherfuckers has a license, because I know goddamn well you don't. Because a lot of you people make money on your videos, and I don't. I just wanted to use the stuff to have visual aids, but I apparently can't do that, so that's the way it is, and I'm going to leave it at that. Am I mad at DC? Hell no. Am I mad at Marvel? Little bit. Am I mad at Disney? Little bit, because you two companies, two of the biggest things in the world right now, you couldn't even be bothered to have one of your little people in your office email me and say, hey, no, you can't use our stuff, or hey, yeah, go ahead, we love it when you guys use our stuff. You couldn't do that. So DC, we couldn't come to an agreement. Props to you guys for at least getting back to me. I greatly appreciate that as one business person to another. So thank you very much. Excuse me. First up this week, in terms of DC, I want to talk about Supergirl. Episode 13, titled Mr. and Mrs. Mix, and I'm going to say this wrong, Mix Petlick. I'm just going to call him Mixie for the duration of this portion of the show. This was the Valentine's episode for the season, which I wasn't very into, to be honest. I enjoyed parts of this episode, but not the whole thing, which I usually do enjoy Supergirl. Excuse me. I loved Mixie. I thought it was an interesting character. I went and did some research between last week's show and this week's show just to understand who this Mixie character was. And it made a lot of sense to me once I figured out who he was and what his characteristics were. Because I'm like, what is this guy? Is he a magician? When I saw the preview, I'm like, is he a magician? Who the fuck is this guy? But I figured it out. I really enjoyed the Monel jealousy portion of the show because it shows that he truly does care for Supergirl, or Kara. I am so fucking over the Maggie and Alex storyline. It's really a taking away from the show in a lot of ways for me. It seems like every week their relationship has a problem. This week is because Maggie doesn't like to celebrate Valentine's Day because she sent a card to her first female crush and it ruined her whole high school experience, or blah, 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 blah. Just give me a fucking break already. Jesus. It's annoying and it kills the show for me. It really does. It took me out of this episode. And it was very hard to get back into it at that point. Wynn meeting the alien in the bar I thought was awesome. And I mean, it's about time Wynn got a little bit of action. I mean, seriously. There was no Guardian in this episode. Was James Olsen even in this episode? He might have been in The Office, maybe. I don't know. Or in the DEO. He might have been. I don't remember seeing him. All right. To me, this episode was a filler episode. Really didn't have a lot to do with the whole Cadmus storyline that's been building all season. In a lot of ways, it was building. I should say that it wasn't building into the storyline, because it was, but it didn't do it enough. I think in this episode, I think this episode was mostly about love and kissy faces and all that stuff and Valentine's Day. And I get it. It was the Valentine's episode. It should have aired last week, but it didn't, because what was it? Was Valentine's last week? No, Valentine's Christmas was almost 2 weeks ago. So, what the fuck are you thinking? Anyways, John Jones. John? Is it Sean Jones? I don't know. He tells Supergirl that sometimes it's easier to get someone to write their name than it is to say it. which she later uses her to her advantage because the only way to get rid of Mr. Mixie is to have him say his name backwards. Sort of like having Rumpelstiltskin say his name, only just twist it, you know? Anyways. Supergirl tricks Mixie into typing his name backwards into a computer at the Fortress of Solitude to stop a nuclear bomb from going off, or an atomic bomb, something like that. A huge bomb from going off, anyways. Which I thought was a really cool way to do it. You know, just types his name into the computer and boom, he's gone. Next week's episode looks to be a huge, huge episode, which I think they need after this week's episode. I think we'll see a full-time return to the Katniss storyline, finally, and I think they're going to just plow into it for the rest of the season. I hope. Fingers crossed, folks. Fingers frickin' crossed. Next up, I want to talk about The Flash, episode 13, Attack on Gorilla City. I have waited for this episode, oh my god, since I heard about it. I believe it was my buddy Paigey. I say buddy, I don't actually know the guy. I just watch a lot of his stuff. I think he was the first one that brought it to my attention that there was going to be a two-part mini series, Attack on Gorilla City and Attack on Central City. And I was really excited to see it once I heard about it. This episode, to add on to that, this episode was everything that I hoped it would be. I loved Gorilla City. I loved the design of the arrows, the Flash sets and Arrow. I like that they got the changing history deal into this episode the way they did. I thought they would drift away from it for the next couple episodes where they're concentrating on Gorilla Grodd and Gorilla City for this episode and Attack on Central City next week. The CGI was amazing as always. Like I said, the sets that they create with CGI for The Flash, Legends, Arrow, all of those are just amazingly done. Just beautiful work. The storyline between Jesse and Wally was a little drawn out for me. Again, I don't watch superhero shows to see the love interest stories. I mean, I know they're in all of them, I get it, but I don't want it to interfere with Attack on Gorilla City, you know? And again, I get why they did it, because they're supposed to be in love with each other, and they're both speedsters now, so... Wells and HW coming together, I thought was very funny, very cool, and I enjoyed that they did it. Again, the set designs were amazing in Gorilla City. I can't say that enough. I love the Salivar Flash fight at the Coliseum. I thought that was super cool. Again, just an amazing set piece and very well drawn out. The episode ends with Gypsy preparing to bring Grodd and his army to Earth. And, I mean, it looked intense, and I can't wait to see what happens next week when they do episode 14, which will be titled Attack on Central City. And I think you're actually going to see Gorilla Grodd come to Earth 1 and fight alongside, Team Arrow. Or Team Flash. Team Arrow. I'll get it right eventually, guys. I promise. Next up, Legends of Tomorrow, episode 12, titled Camelot 3000. This was such a cool episode on so many levels. We get to see King Arthur and the Black Knight and Guinevere and the Knights of the Round Table. And I love this episode so much. I thought that the Black Knight was going to be Malcolm Merlyn, because he dresses in all black as a member of the League of Assassins. So I'm thinking, oh, the Black Knight, that's Merlin. I know it. But then I thought, well, wait a minute, maybe he plays Merlin. You know, because his last name's Merlin, and they called him the magician in the League. So I'm like, duh. And then the Black Knight takes his helmet off, and it's Damien Dark. I'm like, Dark, black, makes sense. Good fit, guys. I really like the Raymond of the Palms. That I love that how he came up with that name, and he wanted to stay and fight with the Knights and take the fight to the Legion of Doom and the Black Knight. Of course, the legends come back to help Raymond of the Palms after he's dubbed Sir Raymond of the Palms. I really am starting to enjoy Rip as the villain, or as a villain. I think it's really working well, and the writing is just amazing to make that believable and to make it happen. I do. I really think it's an interesting storyline. With that said, I do not think that he will ever be called a member of the Legion of Doom. Not just yet anyways, but I think it might be heading that way, where he's going to have to make a choice. And I don't think he'll stay bad. I think he'll kind of turn it around, maybe the episode before the season finale, or the season finale, at the beginning of the season finale. And you have to remember, Legends has a shorter season than the rest of the Arrowverse, so they're ramping it up fast, which is totally cool. I have no problem with a show that just goes bang, 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 because those are the types of shows I like to watch. Perfect example, I've been watching Lethal Weapon on Fox, and I've also been watching Training Day on CBS, and that show is just heavy artillery, one right after another, and I like shows like that. And Arrow's like that, Flash is like that, Legends is like that, Supergirl is like that to a point where it's all action, 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 and you're getting the story at the same time, and it's just very well done. The writers, directors, producers of the Arrowverse, the cast and the crew, really know how to put a show together. And I can't really stress that enough. I love the Arrowverse. I've said that a bunch of times on this show. I can't get over how good the Arrowverse is. And I really hope that Marvel figures out how to get S.H.I.E.L.D. back on track. Or they cancel it altogether. Not that I dislike S.H.I.E.L.D., not that I dislike Marvel, because I really don't. I said it, I believe, last week. I'm not a DC fanboy, I'm not a Marvel fanboy, I'm a fan of good shows and movies. S.H.I.E.L.D. started out real hot, and then kind of died down, then got hot again with Ghost Rider at the beginning of the season. And now they're in this LMD storyline, which might have ended in this week's episode. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch it because I was half asleep when I was watching it. I gotta stop watching TV late at night. DVR it, watch it in the morning, Jamie. Come on now. Get it together. Anyways, see, you guys got me off track. I really enjoyed Legends this week, and I cannot wait to see what happens next. Because I've said it before, I'll say it again. Legends is a show where even with the preview of the next week's episode, you never know what you're gonna see on that show. Last but not least this week, I want to talk about Arrow. Episode 14, titled The Sin Eater. I was hooked on this episode as soon as I saw the title. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see what happens. Action-packed episode from beginning to end, and not just with Oliver Queen being the mayor, but also as Green Arrow, or vice versa. I really thought Green Arrow was nailed when the ACU cornered him in that structure. I thought he was dead to rights, nailed, but he got away. I thought they were going to catch him. I love the fact that Mayor Queen gives the police commissioner a clue that he's the Green Arrow. A lot like Batman did throughout the Dark Knight series, where he would say something to somebody from their past so they would know who he was under the cowl. I believe he said something to the effect of, as Mayor Queen, to the police commissioner, about Billy Malone's murder, that is something that the Green Arrow is going to have to live with for the rest of his life. And, I mean, that's true. And then later in the episode, he re-says it as Green Arrow to the police commissioner, as if to say, okay, put two and two together, you're a police commissioner, come on. Oliver Queen and the Green Arrow are the same person. I was kind of pissed that they ended the Susan-Oliver relationship so quickly. I thought maybe that they should have left it going for a while and have her gather more evidence instead of just having her come right out and say, are you the Green Arrow? And then he's like, yes. And she's like, really? And then he's like, no, I thought we were doing a joking thing. Of course not. I'm like, he just admitted he's the Green Arrow. So, you know, I would have liked them to draw that out a couple more episodes. Have her build more evidence and actually, you know, have like a folder and toss it down on his desk and say, I know you're the Green Arrow. I'm not going to tell anybody. Just tell me you're the Green Arrow. Or something to that effect. You know, I think it would have worked just a little bit better. The tension between Thea and Oliver after the events that caused Susan to lose her job. I thought that was cool. Really great, actually. And I think it will last a while, from a few episodes where he's still going to be mad at her. The issues with Susan and her being fired for plagiarizing her work, due to Felicity hacking into her system and, you know, putting false things in her record and things like that, is the reason Oliver is going to start to question Felicity as to how she's getting all this information and how she's distributing it so freely. We all know that Felicity's a hacker, and I'm sure Oliver knows that, obviously. But I think he's going to actually figure out or find out about Helix. And that might be something that carries over for the rest of the season or even into next season. I like that the villainesses of Arrow were back this week. I thought it was really good. I thought it was interesting. I loved Cupid. She's one of my favorite Arrow villains because she's funny. I wasn't too keen on the ex-cop, I can't remember the character's name, or the triad chick there, the blonde there, the white Asian or whatever the fuck she's called. I wasn't too keen on those two, but it was good to see Team Arrow face off against a team of bad guys. And I thought that the police commissioner trusting the Green Arrow to do the right thing at the end of the episode was very interesting. And again, he tells the police commissioner, I'm sorry about Billy Malone. That's something I'm going to have to live with for the rest of my life. And as he's getting away, as he's going, you know, going away or whatever, the police commissioner says, funny, the mayor said the same thing to me. So he's starting to put two and two together, I think. You know, and I cannot wait to see what's going to happen next. I mean, Prometheus and that story is taking its final shape finally. Oliver goes on and questions Justin Claiborne's ex about her son's whereabouts and tells her that he's a very dangerous man and da-da-da-da-da. And it's killing me to have to wait to find out who Prometheus is. Is it really Justin Claiborne's son? Is it Talia al Ghul? Is it Tommy Merlin? Is it somebody from Oliver's past? Or somebody that knows about Oliver's past? I think it might be somebody linked to Talia al Ghul. Or Talia al Ghul herself. We'll see. Alright, folks, that is absolutely all I have for you guys this week. I want to take a few minutes and say thank you for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it. I love talking about Marvel, DC, Star Wars, my favorite TV shows. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the comments below. If you guys want me to start doing like a mailbag or answering comments, leave me any comments you guys have. I love reading comments from you guys. It's greatly appreciative. I love reading emails from you guys. I've been thinking about bringing back the mailbag Fan Mail Friday. I might do it on my podcast instead of doing a separate video. Also, I want to let you guys know that when I do from in the future exclusive comic book related shows or comic related shows pertaining to Marvel and the Arrowverse, the name of the show will no longer be the Maine Morgue. It will be DC Marvel Chat. All right? Take care, everybody. I will see you guys next week. And as always, may the Force be with you.